Hi, my name is Ashley DeBoer, and I was in Provo Canyon School from September 8th, 2005 to around April 2007. I don't know the exact date.
Can you tell me what the level system was like at Provo Canyon?
There was a lot of levels when I was there. You started out on orientation level, which is your basic level, and then you go, if you're good and you make your little sheet thingy, they bump you up to preteen, and then team, advanced team, achievement, advanced achievement, senior, and advanced senior.
What were the privileges and punishments associated with each level that you can remember?
Well, all the privileges, they vary from levels to level. Pre-team, you don't really get anything. Achievement, I never made achievement, so I really don't know, but I know that they got, what did they get?
It's okay. Do you remember what the punishments were like? Like investment and...
Yeah, your first infraction is called an IR, and you can, if you make 3 full IRs, you get class 2, which puts you in short term for 2 hours. Now, you can have IRs, but you have to say it immediately, and you don't know about it when you go in there. They'll hit you with them, and your roommate or someone will have to tell you that you can have them. Class 2, you're sitting in a short-term chair structure, so your feet have to be flat on the ground. You have 1 piece of paper, 2 pieces of paper, 1 pencil, and usually a textbook out. If you haven't actually got into the school program yet, you're allowed to read a book. After a class 2 is a class 3, and that is where you are automatically placed on investment with 150 points.
And what does that mean?
It really didn't mean anything. It just meant you're placed on investment until they think you're otherwise capable to go back to the regular unit.
Did you have to earn the privilege of going to school, of getting an education?
Yes, you did. If you were acting out too much, or pretty much just defiant, or did anything, little thing, left a hair tie out on the dresser, anything like that, you were, and on investment you were put in sweats. Gray, purple, and this ugly pink color sweatpants. You weren't really allowed any of your own stuff. You were allowed a blanket, and that's about it. You weren't really allowed anything in your room because it was too harmful. If you were acting out too much, you weren't allowed the privilege of going down to school. You weren't allowed going down to school, and even when you did go to school, you still had to wear the sweatpants. And yeah, there's a observation room, which is pretty much cement bricks, all white cement bricks, and it's very cold in there. It has a draft, and a skylight is your only light in it. It's very, very, very cold, with a very big steel door that is locked from the outside, with a window that can be closed at any time by staff. And it's got a cement ground too. Yeah.
Were you assigned a number?
Yeah, mine was 372. Fortunately, it's been almost 2 years since I've been there, so don't see it much anymore, but still I'll find some things, and it's just like, we were called by names. Sometimes when they were calling name call, when we had to get in line, which is line structure where you had to face one direction, hands at your sides, no talking, look straight ahead. You weren't allowed to turn your head. You weren't allowed to step out of line, anything like that. Usually when they call line, they call you by your last name. So mine was DeBoer. Couldn't have nicknames. Most of the time, no one really knew each other's first names. It was all just very strict military-like.
Were you allowed to call or write home without restriction or monitoring?
The first week you're there, you're not allowed to call home at all because of the persuasion that you might persuade your parents to take you home. Unfortunately, I was very stubborn about it, and they did not allow me to call or talk to my mom for 2 whole weeks, my first week there. I wasn't allowed any contact with the outside world at all for 2 weeks, and the only excuse they could give, I don't even remember the excuse. It was so small, and yeah. Writing letters, you're not allowed to take letters to your room. You can send out letters, but who knows if they really get out. I know that a few times my letters were misplaced. Surprise, surprise, you know. You're supposed to open them in front of staff, shake out the letter. If you have pictures or any kind of thing, that you have to give them to staff right away to check and make sure the appropriate content. Even if you're like kissing someone in that picture, usually they would not give them to you.
Were you told not to say anything bad about Provo Canyon School when speaking or writing to your family?
It was never spoken out loud, like don't say anything bad. There was little hints, like you can't lie about Provo Canyon, don't stretch the truth. And usually when that did happen, there was consequences, though for something else to cover up what it was really for.
What is a dial 9? What is a dial 9 and how was it used while you were at Provo Canyon?
A dial 9 is when someone is out of control. I got a dial 9 almost one time just because my roommate I don't remember, she was stealing my stuff or something. I was very pissed off, and I went in there and she started lying to me, and I started yelling at her. My favorite staff came in and was like, do I have to call a dial 9 on you? And I'm like, are you serious? You're not going to do anything about this person stealing my things, but you're going to sit here and tell me I'm the one out of control? And what happens is they get on their little walkie-talkies, and they're like, dial 9 to Unit 4, to Unit 3, to Unit 1, to Unit 2, to investment. And that's where every single available staff, they usually leave one person on a unit when they have like 3 or 4 people on a unit. So that's like 6 or 7, or 8 or 9, 10 people coming, rushing, running to the place that you're going to. And usually they try and sit down and have a conversation with you, like, okay, you need to come with us right now. And they all put on rubber gloves, like we have a disease or something. And then if you are like, no, are you serious? Then they'll usually tackle you to the ground, restrain you. I've seen people get bit. I've seen people get broken legs and stuff from this. It's a very, very violent thing. And then they throw you into observation. And so if you're too out of control, you get a shot of booty juice. We actually never knew exactly what was in the booty juice. We were never told. All we know is usually that they just stick you with a shot and you're out.
That's typically probably Haldol or Thorazine.
Yeah, something.
Some serious antipsychotic that knocks you out.
Yeah, it makes you really dizzy for the next couple days, too.
When